We hope Muzzin is okay, and hopefully he can be good for next game. And I know
Jake, if you need spare neck, hit me up.
Yeah.
Like, I will donate my neck.
Woo!
There we go.
That was loud, but let's start it off here. Toronto Maple Leafs. They take the dub in Game 2 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Round of applause for them.
Go!
All right, so first of all, coming into this game, they were coming off that loss, disappointing loss. They get shut out. Big question coming in is, can they score on Jonas Korpisalo? And for the first part of this game, it looked like it was impossible. It looked like they were not going to get any goals on this guy. But the thing is, they were getting a lot more opportunities than they did in Game 1. So luckily, Austin Matthews came through. John Tavares came through. The big boys, they stepped up. They had to step up today, and they did their job. Frederik Andersen, solid. Basically 2 shutouts in a row. If you ignore that one goal, like he's been really good. First of all, welcome back to Unlimited, episode number 13. Xarius, Jasavala, Farzan, Dubash.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today? And how did you like this game? Let's go to Farzan.
First of all, I'm doing great. More relieved than anything. Now it's a best of 3 series. They're not down again, which it seems like they're down every year in a series. I think the first thing is we have to ask the question, Columbus has trouble scoring. Since we were all freaking out about the Leafs after last game, I think it's only right that we freak out about Columbus only having 1 goal on Freddie in 2 games.
Yeah, we actually should. Yeah, that's a problem.
I guess we're going to get into the Muzzin injury later, but other than that, amazing game. They came out flying. I didn't have one single player on the team who I didn't think played well. Fourth line had some big hits. Engvall in for Gauthier, I thought, added a little more speed to that line.
Yeah.
Clifford nearly killed a man in the first period, which gave them some energy, I think.
It's like the Nazem Kadri hit in Game 3 against Washington a few years ago.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that was...
good game all around. Matthews stepped up. Matthews had a good first couple of games. JT had a much better game. That whole line looked a lot better. I think moving Nylander down to that line with JT, moving Marner up, I think it helped both Marner and JT, honestly. That's my initial thoughts. I guess we can go to Xarius.
Yeah, Xarius, he had a lot to say about the Leafs in the last one.
Oh, man.
So what do you got to say this time around? Are you a lot happier now?
You know what? I'm a lot happier now. They came out flying, as Farzan said. The boys came out flying in the first period. They looked great. But again, we don't want to get like some of those Leafs fans now and say, oh, we're going to win the cup. We're going to win the cup after this game. It's just one game. Like Farzan said as well, it's now a best of 3. So the other ones also matter. They just got to play the exact same way. There has to be consistency, as we spoke about last one. There needs to be consistency with this team. And that's what we're struggling with. But you know what? All around, the boys played well. Again, I don't think anyone underperformed this afternoon.
Cody Ceci, but that's...
Did he, though?
I don't know, actually.
I think maybe, and Xarius mentioned it earlier, maybe Travis Dermott, potentially. He didn't have the strongest game. But no, I think literally every player on the Leafs had a good game. We talked a lot about Marner and Tavares in the Game 1 reaction. Those guys played really well tonight. Mitch Marner came out shooting the puck. I think he had maybe 4 shots in the first period. First opportunity he got to shoot was a pretty solid shot on net on Korpisalo. He did a one-timer. He received the pass from Matthews, and he one-timed the puck.
So he had 5 shots in the game total.
Yeah, 5 shots. Last game he had 0, so a lot better there. And then John Tavares, man, he had a phenomenal game. He was all over the ice, winning every single battle. Gets lucky at the end there with the breakaway, and it sneaks by, gets under the arm of Korpisalo. I don't know if he was trying to do that. I think he was trying to go a bit higher, but luckily it worked out, and it's a goal, right? So
you know what? It went in. It went in. It's a goal.
It went in. It went in. Yep. What else stuck out to you guys about this game? What impressed you about the Leafs in this one?
Well, for me, I think they weren't bad on the boards in the first game, like with puck battles and stuff. But this game, it seemed like they were a lot stronger. They were a lot faster. They were quicker getting to pucks in the corner. Columbus couldn't couldn't establish their forecheck when it was in the Leaf zone and couldn't break the puck out cleanly when it was in their defensive zone. Like a lot of guys, Nick Robertson was so much faster. It looked like in the first game, it felt like he had a little bit of jitters. Kerfoot, that whole line again, like I've said, has been a very good line for them. So yeah, big thing was the forecheck. The defensemen didn't seem to like be taking too much time, and the Leafs defensemen didn't seem to be taking too much time in their own zone. As soon as the puck came out, they were pretty good about getting the pressure on, getting it back up to the forwards, and getting back in deep. That allowed them to keep pressure on Columbus for the majority of the game. Columbus couldn't really get anything going until the third, when they kind of got those last few shots with the power plays. But other than that, like I wasn't really worried about Columbus getting into the Leafs zone.
Xarius, what about you?
You know what? The only disappointing thing from that game was maybe going 0 for 5 on the power play.
Yeah,
that's fair.
You know, like we have a strong power play unit. Even like the first and second unit are pretty good, and we're a fast team, we're a skillful team. So I don't understand why we couldn't put anything off. But I think Korpisalo played a great game.
It was really good on the power play, especially.
I thought he saved the Jackets big time. And I don't know, our defense I think played well, not letting them have any shots on Freddie. So all around, I really don't know what else to say. Like this
team
played a solid game today.
It's just consistency now. Can they perform like this in game 3? Like, honestly, like if they had even lost this game 1-0 or something, you can't even be mad at them too much because they controlled the play, they dominated. And this series reminds me a lot of the Pittsburgh-Montreal series as well, because Pittsburgh seems to be dominating Montreal every single game. It's just been Carey Price. And now for the Leafs, it's Joonas Korpisalo who's been the guy that's stopping them from scoring all these goals. But I think now that the Leafs know that, okay, we've scored 2 against them, I think the floodgates are open now. And, you know, now they know that their offense is good and these guys can score. And honestly, I think they are really confident defensively now because the Blue Jackets really haven't had many scoring chances at all in the first 2 games. The Cam Atkinson one was from far out. It was a weak one that beat Freddie. They can't really seem to generate any traffic around the Leafs net, which is kind of surprising because the Leafs don't have those big defensemen that can push you around in front of the net. But it seems like Dermott, Barry, Riley, they're doing a lot better in front of their net positioning and clearing pucks away from Freddie. And Freddie's been a beast. Freddie's been insane, and he can single-handedly win the Leafs this series if he keeps playing like this.
100%,
so,
yeah.
If they play like this the next game, they're going to win. Next game, they're going to win, and it's going to be over in 4. So the one disappointing thing came at the very end of the game, unfortunately, with Jake Muzzin, which was, I mean, obviously it's extremely disappointing and frustrating because everything was going so well and you don't want anything to happen and you want to escape with the victory. And they're down a man. I don't know if they're going to have Muzzin for the next one. And it was like an awkward fall behind the net, kind of got cross-checked from behind and fell and hit his head on like someone else
on his leg,
on his leg. And it looked like he was trying to get up at first, and then he was like, no, I'll just sit down, and he didn't get up, and he got stretched off the ice. So like we're going to talk about like who we think is going to come in, but first of all, like how much of a loss is Jake Muzzin in your guys' opinion?
Well, it's huge. Like, I don't think it's a stretch to say he's the best defensive defenseman on the Leafs.
He is.
Like,
100%.
Bar none, right?
Defensive defenseman,
It's weird because, I don't think it's that serious. The fact that he could sit up, he was able to get, like, up, and the trainer was like, no, okay, lie back down. We're going to take this safe. And the fact that he was wiggling his fingers, he could wiggle his toes, that tells me it was probably some kind of whiplash or, like, a pinched nerve or something.
Yeah, that's what they were saying on the broadcast, too, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably better because the fact that he could move that stuff tells me it's probably not a serious neck or back injury. So first of all, I think that's a good hope. And the second thing is that, like we've seen, Columbus isn't really an offensive juggernaut, right? So I think losing a defensive defenseman like Muzzin, obviously it's still a big loss. He's the best defenseman on the team. But I think it's a little bit less severe given the team they're playing against. That's a team that they're more of a grinding team, but if you play them with speed, which isn't really his strong suit, he's a tougher guy. He can push people around, but he isn't that fast. I think that makes it a little bit better for the Leafs, but I'm interested to see how they handle it. Who comes in? Probably going to be Sandin, but I'm interested to see if they maybe go with Marincin for more penalty killing.
Yeah, let's focus on that now. I think Marincin does make sense just because of the penalty kill thing, and he is stronger defensively. But also, like you just said, Farzan, maybe they don't need a defensive defenseman. Maybe they want to just play the speed game, and Sandin has so much skill. Xarius, do you have an opinion on this? Where do you think the Leafs go to, or who do you think the Leafs will go to?
You know what? In my opinion, I think they should go with Sandin. I really do, because having the speed to attack, like as you said, like there may not be a need for a defensive defenseman at this point, right? Because Columbus don't really have that drive offensively, right? So maybe we can get Sandin in and generate more chances offensively.
Yeah.
But again, Marincin would be the right choice if you want to look at like the penalty kill and all that as well. So it's going to be a tough decision, but I'm sure they'll work something around and see what they according to how they played today. I think they should bring Sandin in.
Yeah.
Easy choice is Sandin from the way that they played today. But again, it's consistency.
Yeah, I think like no matter who comes in, there might even be like some switching with the Riley CC pairing.
Yeah.
Maybe CC gets bumped down in the lineup. And even like the Barry Dermott pairing could get moved around if one of them comes in, because I don't know if you want to have Sandin playing with Hall and just put him right there, just replace Muzzin straight up. Maybe they feel comfortable with Marincin going in with Hall, but you know, I trust Keefe. I trust Keefe.
I know what I was going to say. Sorry. Marincin Hall has worked in the past when they've used it, so I don't mind that too much. But then you're putting Sandin into it depends what you put in the pairings. You're either putting Marincin into a top 4 role, or you're putting like Dermott and Barry into a top 4 role, and I'm hesitant with that because I feel like Dermott and Barry, while they're a good pairing together, they work better when they're playing more sheltered minutes or when they're like primarily in the offensive zone.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. And like Zari said, the one thing that would give me pause with Sandin is the penalty kill. The penalties, there were much more penalties called in this game than the first game on both sides.
Yeah.
So I think if you're planning for that, maybe put Marincin in, because there were like 5 penalties each way. Right? First game there were only like 2. So you have to plan for that, especially with how these playoffs have been called in general with penalties, like not just the Leafs, like every team. Most teams are averaging like 4 or 5 penalties a game.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Leafs are going to be a team that will draw too many penalties or get many penalties. I think it's going to be maybe today's an outlier, but I think it's going to be similar to Game 1 where the refs just aren't going to call anything. Historically, in the playoffs, the Leafs haven't really gotten too much luck with power play. Yeah, exactly. In general, even throughout this regular season. So, I guess, just looking ahead to Game 3, the Leafs are now the road team. Technically, they'll be wearing their white uniforms at home. What do you guys expect from this game? Any predictions? Any thoughts heading into game number 3?
Well, we've seen Matthew score one, we've seen Tavares score one. They've been getting their chances, but you could see like towards the end of game 1 even like partway through this game, Tavares got robbed like 3 times in a row on the power play.
Yeah.
Like in the slot. I think now that they've finally broken through, I think we're going to see some like kind of an explosion offensively. Like now they know they can score on Korpisalo. He's not in their heads anymore, hopefully. I think we're going to see an explosion. So I'm going to say high scoring. 5-2 for the Leafs is going to be my prediction based on absolutely nothing substantial.
I said 5-0 heading into to this game. That didn't work out. But
they got the shutout.
Yeah, exactly. They got the shutout. And 2 goals. Yeah. Xarius, what about you?
I'm thinking, you know what? I think it's going to be a little bit more conservative again.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I feel from the Leafs side, it's going to be a bit more conservative, and the shots are going to be kind of even. Freddie may have an outstanding game. I'm saying 3-1 Leafs.
3-1 Leafs. Okay.
With the Jackets scoring first.
Oh God, I can't deal with this.
I do think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a low scoring game anymore because we've seen the past 2 games be super low scoring. I think it's not going to be super high scoring. I'm going to say 4-3 Leafs. 4-3 Leafs. I mean, it really could go either way, but I'll say 4-3 Leafs. I think, Columbus will squeak a few by Frederik Andersen. I don't know if he really is elite, then maybe he gets another shutout or lets in only 1 goal next game. But I feel like Freddie at some point has to, take a little bit of a step off here and let in a few. But hopefully the Leafs offense can make up for that and score 4 goals on Joonas Korpisalo. Because I definitely don't think Korpisalo can keep this up. It's his first ever playoffs. He's been really bad against the Leafs in the past. Didn't have the best season. I think the Leafs offense will get to him next game. So I'll say 4-3 Toronto. I don't really think there's too much else to say about this one. We're just really happy and thankful that the Leafs won. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's the biggest thing. We hope Muzzin is okay and hopefully he can be good for next game. And I know
Jake, if you need spare neck, hit me up.
Yeah.
Like I will donate my neck.
All right. Yeah. That's how much we care about our team and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So so that's the important thing, Muzzin. And then the game itself was great. The Leafs really did well today and they proved us all wrong. We are still supporting this team and they still are keeping our hopes up and the dreams of winning a Stanley Cup are still alive. So like Xarius mentioned in the last episode, if they had lost today, it's looking like it might be over. So they didn't let that happen, and they put in a great performance, and they played a complete game. So that's all you can ask for. Let's hope for the same the next game. Boys, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Any final words here before leaving?
Go Leafs, go.
No, thanks for having us on again. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.
And hope we see a positive result on Thursday.
And Friday. It's back-to-back.
Back-to-back. That's true.
Yes, sir.
They just confirmed it's an 8 p.m. start on Thursday, so prime time game. So
perfect.
There you go.
Set your clocks.
Thank you very much for watching Unlimited episode number 13. Make sure you subscribe and follow at Unlimited Pod on Instagram as well if you want. And that's it. We will be back for the Thursday episode reacting to hopefully another Leafs win. See you guys in a bit.